teams. All right, and so for our next presenter, we have Patrick Baudouin, the Vice President of Life Science Solutions, SDL, and his presentation is entitled An Old Timer with a Mission. So take it away.
Okay, as you can see, I've been dealing with VCs quite a lot of times. And despite my Texan accent, I am French. When I was a teenager, I was fond of all these American and British rock and roll stars like the Stones, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and so on. And in these days, we had no internet, believe it or not. And if you could do the music, it was very difficult to get the lyrics. So what we did with our very basic scholar English is to listen to records day after day after day, and actually at one point in time, we got it almost right, even though some of the lyrics were still phonetics, and we did a pretty good replay of a Brown Sugar from the Stones. The second passion I had was actually motorbikes, and I can tell you that the day I got this one, this mythical four-cylinder Honda motorbike, was one of the most exciting of my life. However, I was a student and I have very limited budget, so I decided, okay, I'm not going to take it to the Honda dealer, I'm going to fix it and service it myself. Then I opened the user's manual, the driver's manual, and it was such a very difficult, different language, because the translation from Japanese to French was absolutely impossible to understand, that unfortunately I had to pay for the Honda dealer to service my bike. Then one day in London, I met my wonderful English wife. Yes, believe it or not, that's me on the picture, a few years ago. And suddenly I had a very compelling and personal reason to get interested in other people's languages and culture. And going on, during my professional life, I was working on a very big contract in Spain with a contractor in Cadiz, and I had prepared this meeting that was really key for many, many days. I had the best PowerPoint you can imagine. So I fly there, I arrive in this meeting room, and I have 10 people in front of me, and not a single one of them speaks English. And my total knowledge of Spanish is basically this. So quite an embarrassing moment in my professional life. 15 years ago, I had a great opportunity for my career to move to Munich, and I lived there for 3 years. And it was really landing while running, because the first time I arrived there, I had to ask for my way, and sorry, sir, I don't speak English, I don't speak French, so I have to do with that. And last but not least, a few years ago, with my daughter at the top of the Machu Picchu, she got violently sick, and she was in such a state it was impossible for her to go down the very dangerous and very narrow stairs and slope that you have to use to go down there. So we were really in trouble, and suddenly this guy, who was speaking some kind of a Slavic language, came to us and got out with a very huge syringe, and we understood he wanted to help us, but what is it? Is it heroin? What is it? So we had to make a decision, and we did it, we went for it, and actually my daughter was okay enough to slowly and carefully go down the Machu Picchu. So what does it mean? It means that since I was a young person, my life personally and then professionally has been very much impacted by different languages, different cultures, and so on. So my mission in life is actually to make sure that people, companies, organizations interact with each other in the most efficient way, wherever they are, whatever language they speak, whatever media they use. In business terms, it's called improving the customer experience, and it's based on 3 things: insight, orchestration, and contextual experience. If we look from a pharmaceutical standpoint, basically the customer does not exist as such. We have 3 customers. We have the patient, the most important one, we have the doctor, and we also have the health authorities, the regulators. And all along the life cycle of a drug or a vaccine, you have interactions between these customers and the pharmaceutical company using very specific types of document information that must be in the right language, but also compliant with the local regulations and with the local culture. And this is what my mission is, to make sure that this happens. Thank you very much.